allow, Yah, allow, Yah, allow, Yah. Hey, peace, grace, and mercy, y'all. You already know what's cracking and what's going down. It's your neighborhood Hebrew. Hey, Shabbat Shalom to everybody that kept the Shabbat over the weekend. As y'all know, mine's is today. You know what I mean? So yeah, we in part 3 of the Sabbath day readings in Exodus, right? We tapping in with Exodus part 3. We're going on to 16, Exodus 16, 25, verses 25 to 36. We're closing it out of Exodus 16. So real quick before we get into it, you know what I'm saying? Check out the platforms. You see the platforms there. So, just holler at us. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with us. Support us. You know what I'm saying? Throw some arms, sow some seeds. Hey, if it's on your heart to do it, go ahead and do it. If not, hey, it's all good. Just keep on getting fed. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. But, we're supposed to be helping each other try to make this thing right so we can all start working for the kingdom. Y'all got to forgive me. You got to forgive me. We're going to rush through this thing. Not really trying to rush through this thing, but as y'all know, I got to pre-record these things. So, so I'm trying to make it, as feasible as possible. And plus, I already know the mind capacity of our people. You know what I'm saying? We can't take too much for too long. So, just want to give y'all a quick update. Y'all know I just celebrated Pentecost not too long ago, but I told y'all I'm linking things up with my brother. I'm trying to get things in one accord with my brother, even though he keeps Shabbat Friday to Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I've been linking up with him to try to make sure that we really get things together. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, y'all go check out my brother Akla Ag. He got the Zoom Bible reading. We actually got it cracking Friday, Saturday at 6:30 and Sunday at 3:30. So y'all tap in for some Zoom Bible reading. We do some heavy Bible study, man. We go through about 5 chapters, man, and really get to grubbing at the table, you know what I'm saying, with the family. So yeah, me and my brother right there, it's one of my closest brothers. That is my closest brother, you know what I'm saying, in this walk and just in life period right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's my strong defense right there. That's my Aki. So yeah, we linking up, getting our moons together, you know what I'm saying, so we can start keeping all these feasts together. So my calendar had now changed. So coming in on September 4th, that's my trumpets. So September 4th at even is the trumpets. If y'all want to tap in and come through, Most High willing, I'll be linking up with my brother out there. So if you want the invite too, go ahead and let me know, and I'll see if it's cool, you know what I'm saying, to come on through. I might see a little whatever on my sweater right there, but it's all good because I'm wearing the inside out. I don't care. Then the next Sabbath, for me, because y'all know I do lunar solar, I go off of, you know what I'm saying, the sun, moon, stars, and all that and whatnot. The next Sabbath for me will be September 11th. Then the atonement fast will start the evening of the 12th, right? Then the fast will end on the 13th at even, and that will bring in the Feast of the Atonement. So my brother, he's keeping it the 14th at evening. So if anybody else is, you know what I'm saying, want to come through for the Atonement Feast, tap in the 13th, September 13th at even. Tabernacles begins on the 18th and ends on the 25th. So y'all know that's a whole week. But I do got to work in between those days, but I'm definitely taking off the 18th and the 25th, as those are high Shabbats, high Sabbath days, as they do land on the 15th and the 22nd day of the month, which are Sabbaths. So, yeah, y'all go ahead and tap on in and get on in there. You know what I'm talking about? Just get on in there. Get on in there. So, yeah, without further ado, we're going right back to it. This is part 3. You know what I'm saying? Exodus 16, 25 to 36, right? 25 through 36. So we're going to listen to this thing. And then, yeah, y'all already know what we do. We're going to get it cracking. So, excuse the noise in the background if y'all hear any. I got my microphone hooked up. I charged it a little bit. So let's get to it. It's going to start a little earlier, but, you know what I mean? We're going to catch up.
Was there any worm therein? And Moses said, Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. And the Lord said unto Moses, How long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna. And it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. And Moses said, This is the thing which the Lord commandeth. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a pot, and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord, to be kept for your generations. As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years, until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna, until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is the 10th part of an ephah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Right? So, you know, starting off, you know what I mean? Like, so if we go back from, you know, from part 2, right, where we ended, right on verse 24. So let's read that real quick. Verse 24. It says, And they laid up till the morning as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. Right? So that was letting us know that Moses told us to lay up the second portion. Right? Told us to lay up the second portion of the manna until the next morning. Right? So that's us just coming on in, right, from part 2, now we're into part 3. So that's the context of where we were coming in from, right? Moses told them to lay it up until the next morning, right? Now in verse 25, right, Moses now says to eat that manna today because the morning brought forth the Sabbath. In that day, right, no manna would be found in the field, which is why you prepared, or, you know, correlating it to today, would prepay, you know what I'm saying, to get things done the day before, so you wouldn't have to cook or prepare anything on the day of rest. You understand? You dig it? Right? This is also the first time we see anyone acknowledging that or instituting or the institution of or reintroduction of the Sabbath. This is the first time. Now, mind y'all, again, I'm just letting y'all know these are just my thoughts on the readings. Ain't nobody saying that I'm 100% true, 100% accurate. None of these things. I'm just giving y'all what I see off the page, right? So, you know, just reading verse 25 again says, And Moses said, Eat that today, right? Now that day, remember, he told them to lay it up until the morning in the verse before. So now when that morning comes, he says, Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. So, you know, we'd have to, you know, just kind of think about, you know, how we were taught, you know, the evening to evening, or the evening starts the new day, or the evening starts the Shabbat, or, you know, however it is. Again, you know, however brothers and sisters keep it, hey, as long as you're keeping it. But according to what we see here, Moses, this is the first Sabbath that was given. Moses actually tells them to lay up that second portion until the morning. And then that next morning, he says, Eat that today. Because what are they eating? They're eating what they laid up until the next morning, right? For today is a Sabbath unto the Lord, right? So now the day when he told them to eat it, which came in the morning, which is when he told them to lay it up, that is what he's now calling the Sabbath, when the morning came. Just what I'm reading. Hey, you might see something different. All good. No worries, right? So verse 26 says, 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none, right? So, reminding us again, the order of operations leading up to the Sabbath. Y'all can dig it, right? Meaning 6 days of work, right? Meaning work 6 days and rest the seventh, right? And rest the seventh. Let's go check out Exodus, right? Staying the same book. We're only going to go a couple chapters up. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 9 and 10 says, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Right? So, this is just reminding us of course, you don't have to work all 6 days if you ain't got to. But, those 6 days are meant for working, for doing work, right? Which is why we get reminded or why they were told or instructed in chapter 16 to go out and go get the manna, because that was a resemblance of them doing the work, putting in the work. Mind you, they're in the wilderness, so they ain't really got no work outside of this. So go get the manna, right? Every day. On the 6th day, you're going to get 2 portions, right? Let's go to Ezekiel 46 and 1. It says, thus saith the Lord God, our power, the Most High Yahweh, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days. But on the Sabbath it shall be open, and in the day of the new moon it shall be open, right? Hey, praise to the Most High. We was just talking about the new moon. Y'all see the new moon banner, right? Y'all can also catch that up on the website. You know what I'm saying? Go tap into the links. Y'all see what it is. Y'all know how the intro come in. When the intro come in, y'all seen it. That was the website. So y'all go ahead and go check it out. neighborhoodhebrewsministries.org. Y'all already know what to do. So yeah, y'all can go find these over there. You can pre-order them. You know what I'm saying? I got one for every feast day. So yeah, as y'all seen the other videos, you've seen the Pentecost ones up. So trumpets is coming up next. So boom, we got that up there. It shall be shut. So the gates of, the temple, right, will be shut the 6 working days, because that's only time when the priest is in there doing anything, right? So it's not open to everybody, but it's going to be open on the holy days, Sabbaths, new moons, right? New moons is the beginning of your months, if anybody does not know. So we're going back to Exodus 16. Forgive me, y'all, if I'm going a little too fast. Again, like I say, got to pre-record this thing. So, I got things to do. So Exodus 16, and we're going to verse 27. It says, and it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none, right? So you don't follow instructions and you find yourself without, right? Just the parable, right? Just like the parable of the virgins, right? Who didn't have the oil in time for the wedding, right? They didn't have the oil in time for the wedding. So this is what a lot of us do right now. You know what I'm saying? We know what it says, but we still won't do it. Or we, we followed it, but it was like, hey, we still want more. Right? So let's go to Proverbs real quick. Proverbs 20 and 4. I'm trying to be quick on my sword today. I got my original Bible with my tabs in it. Proverbs 20 and 4 says, the sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing. Right? So You always got an excuse, just like we did right here in Exodus, right? Exodus 16, right? We got an excuse, right? We still went out to go gather when he told us there wouldn't be nothing out there, right? So you always got an excuse. Why you didn't follow instructions, why you didn't do this, why you didn't do that. Just like the scripture just said in Proverbs, you got a reason because it's cold outside. You always got a reason, right? And now you don't have when you need it. You don't have nothing when you need it, right? So be mindful of the Sabbath, right? Just getting back on topic. Be mindful of the Sabbath and prepare early, right? For all y'all who ain't super brewing, prepare or prepay for something before the Sabbath, right? Early, right? Day before, couple days before, set it up. You know what I'm saying? Early, to not leave room for any of those excuses, right? We don't want to have any excuses, right? So let's go back to Exodus 16 and verse 28. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? So the Most High is really getting at Moses on behalf of, you know what I'm saying, the Israelites, our people, the Hebrews, right? So the Most High speaking to Moses, you feel me, of the disobedience of those people. These niggas is crazy. Y'all out of pocket, right? Of those people that didn't follow, right? These people do not follow, just like y'all. Y'all do not follow, right? Let's go to 2 Kings, right? Let's go to 2 Kings real quick. Chapter 17. Let me try to buzz on over there real quick, like chapter 17 and verse 14. It says, notwithstanding, they would not hear, but hardened their necks like to the neck of their fathers that did not believe in the Lord their power. Right? Same thing. Right? So this is what this is showing us. We did not listen. We did not hearken. Right? Our people didn't do it then. Right? Because Exodus comes way before 2 Kings. We didn't do it in 2 Kings. Right? And you today still won't listen, just as stiff-necked as we were then. You won't listen. You have an issue with listening, right? You really do. You have an issue with listening. And even when you hear something, you still have an excuse of why this and why that. Oh, we don't have to do that because that was back then. All right. All right. Let your children do that to you. Let's see if you still got that same energy. Let's see if you still got that same energy. If you're speaking with that same energy. Psalm 78 and verse 10. It says, they kept not the covenant of Yahweh and refused to walk in his law. Right? You kept not it. Right? So you actually say, right? You actually say, you know that you're sinning. You know that you're sinning and you still refuse. You still refuse. You crooked ass niggas, gutter butt chicks. You know what I'm saying? You women, all y'all is out of pocket and y'all ain't worth shit because you won't turn around and come back to the Most High. Right? It says, but y'all still know that you're sinning. Right? And you still refuse to follow what you know you're sinning against. You still follow what you know you're sinning against. You know what I'm saying? Now, I might have said that backwards or whatever, but anyway, you follow the lifestyle or you continue to do the things that you still did, right? Knowing that they go against what you know to be right, right? I think I might have said that better and cleaned it up. You know what I'm saying? If not, you should understand what I'm saying. You continue in sin. You continue in sin knowing that it goes against the Most High. That's probably better, right? But let's bow us over to Psalms 106 because these Roman numerals is killing your boy. So we're going to go ahead and jump on this internet. 106 and verse 13. Psalms 106 and verse 13, it says, They soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel. Right? You guys always forget, even though if you're told, right? So even when you taught or told, whichever one you want to look at, taught or told, right? You don't practice. So you forget. You forget and go about it your own way rather than getting it from him. Who's him? The Most High Yah. You rather do it your own way because you self-willed. Y'all hear me saying it all the time. You have the bitch mentality. The Bible in the Good News says self-willed is called a what? Come on now. So that's your mentality. You want to do it your own way. You're self-willed, right? Instead of following his word and getting counsel from him, you do it yourself. You do it yourself, right? Let's go check out numbers. Let's go check out numbers. I know what numbers is. I can get the numbers easy on this one. Feel me? Numbers easy on this one right here. So Numbers 14 and 11. It says, and the Most High said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be? Yet they until they believe me for all the signs which I have showed among them. Right? So the Most High done showed us all of these signs. He done did all these things and all this favor. And you got all these testimonies in your life, right? And you still don't follow him. You still don't follow him. So basically, long story short, Numbers 14 and 11, you claim him. What? You claim the Most High, but you forsake him. You forsake him. You out of pocket as hell. You out of pocket as hell, right? To claim him, but then you don't follow any of his instructions. Imagine your children doing that to you. Imagine them doing that to you. Oh yeah, that's my mom, that's my dad. But yeah, what they say I don't follow. But then you still expect them to get you the new shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like they still expect you rather to, you know, do for them, give them allowance, you know what I'm saying? Buy them new shoes, new clothes, still feed them, still take care of them, still house them. You see how stupid that sounds? That's how it is with the Most High. It sounds stupid that you claim him, but you forsake what he says. I don't know. But that's what we were doing here as well, right? So let's go to verse 29 in Exodus 16. It says, see, for the Most High hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. Right? So this is actually the Most High preparing for us. He's preparing for us, right? And gave us 2 portions, 2 of them, right? To make sure we were straight, right? To make sure of it. And they didn't even have, you know what I'm saying? And they still didn't have enough. That's how our minds are. We're greedy, right? We're greedy. But let's just go back real quick to verse 18 of Exodus 16. It says, and when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating, right? So verse 18 said no one was lacking. So why do you still need more? Why would you still need to go out and go get more when you already had more? The Most High already made a way that you would have enough for each day, no matter what you got. He that gathered little had no lack. He that gathered more had no lack. Everybody had enough for each day. So he gave you 2 portions of that. And you still need to go out and go get more? You tripping and you're out of bounds, brother. Tripping and you're out of bounds. Let's go down to verse 31 in Exodus 16. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey, right? Wafers made with honey. Let's go over the numbers, right, real quick. Numbers 11. 11 and 7. It says, and the manna was as coriander seed, and the color thereof as the color of bdellium. Right? So it was like a bronze, sticky dough type substance, right? Which makes sense when you bake it, right? Like bread, right? Because if y'all go check out like other translations and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like you see like what it looks like, right? Kind of looks like this color up here, right? But other translation, you know what I'm saying, say that, it was like a gum resin. You know what I'm saying? Like gum resin. You can check it out in the New Living Translation, in the Berean translation. You know what I mean? So if it was like a gum type of, like a dough, just think of it like a dough. You know what I mean? Like a wet dough. Like when you first make the dough, it's kind of sticky, right? But it's like a little wet little dough that kind of look like a little, bronzy color. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it looked like. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to tap on that right there just to, pull that out. But let's go to verse 32 in Exodus 16. It says, and Moses said, this is the thing which the Most High commanded. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. Right? So here we see what like a lot of like pastry chefs and stuff would call like the mother bread. Right? Now the mother bread process is, like you keep it and then you kind of piece off of it to kind of make like that dough, right? A lot of pizza spots do that, like family owned pizza spots, things like that. Like y'all go just like check into like the mother bread. I'll try to post it up so y'all can see, just a little example of it over here. You know what I mean? But it was meant to be kept to pass down for generations, which you see these other nations doing in their pastry shops, their pizza shops, anybody making dough and bread. They try to, if somebody's bread tastes different than everybody else's, usually they have a mother bread. That's why it always tastes the same, right? Always tastes the same. That's where the concept comes from anyway, outside of them doing trickery in these laboratories. You know what I'm saying? Passing it down to generations, right? Which would be for the priests, right? It's because the priests are supposed to, they're the ones that are in charge of these things. You know what I'm saying? In charge of the manna and keeping it. And, what I'm saying? Well, not the manna, but the shoe bread, whatever, right? For the holy days, right? And to be left over, right? On the, in front of the testimony, the ark of the testimony, right? For the Most High, right? For a reminder, you know what I'm saying, of what the Most High has always done for us, right? That's why it reads how it reads, right? To remind us when he brought us forth out of the land of Egypt. So always remember the works of the Most High and what he did. So let's go to Hebrews, jump over to Hebrews real quick. Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 4. It says, which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant. See? So that's where this manna was kept, right? And that manna, again, they were piecing it off generation after generation, right? To keep that mother bread going, right? And if you keep it, moisturized, you know what I'm saying? Just as that manna dropped and just keeping it moist, it'll last throughout the generations. It'll last piece by piece. It'll last. And you just kind of just keep on going from there. Now, obviously, they got to add their own flour and all that. But that's why you see a lot of the menus of, on the feast days of when they were giving off offerings and all that, it was always flour mixed with, mingled flour and, what I'm saying, whatever it was. You know what I mean? So, just something to check out. Going back to Exodus 16 and verse 33. It says, and Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein and lay it up before the Most High to be kept for your generations, which is exactly what we just read over there in Hebrews, right? Right? All these things were to be kept, right? Kept throughout the generations to be able to be passed down, right? So that manna was kept throughout the generations, right? So this verse 33, this is instructions, right? That Moses is given to Aaron, right? For the high priest to follow, right? So these are things that they're supposed to follow. So let's go over to Revelation. Let's go over to Revelation real quick. Chapter 2 and verse 17. It says, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. Right? So, shows this manna was kept, right? And the manna that was kept would be given to his sheep, right? He that heareth, right? Just as it was given to David, who was not a priest. So the priests were sent to be, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why the word is escaping me, but the mediator, right, between us and the Most High at that time. So up until the Messiah come, they are the mediators. So now, when the Messiah steps on the scene, he's going to be that mediator that gives off the manna to those that have an ear, right? To his sheep, right? Kind of reminds you when he's talking to Peter and he asks him 3 times, hey, do you love me? He says, yeah, well, feed my sheep, right? I'm going to use you to give them this manna. What was the manna? It was spiritual food. Over in Corinthians, right? Spiritual food, you know? So, and remember, David was not a priest, but he got fed that manna because he was a sheep who was listening, right? He was listening, right? So let's go back to Exodus 16 and verse 35. It says, and the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan, right? So the manna that was done once, right? They got to the promised land, right? It was done once they got to the promised land, right? Because at the time when they got to the promised land, this was meant to be a spiritual guide to help them. Because, see, they weren't actually supposed to be out there that damn long, but they needed some spiritual guidance to help them fix themselves. So you know how, like, we may be going through struggles, like in relationships, with our brothers, in life, and we need time, or it takes us a little longer to get to, you know, wherever our goals are. It's because we have to learn something. The Most High is trying to get us to learn something. That's why he tells us that, hey, look, I will give you over to a reprobate mind. Why would he give us over to a reprobate mind? Well, because we're not listening and we keep not listening. We actually know what to do, right? Going back up to the verses that we read before, right? About them going out to go find the manna when Moses told them it wouldn't be no manna. When the Most High says, how long will ye go against my laws? Well, it's because you have to understand what the hell you're doing. The Most High is trying to set you up for greatness. You setting yourself up for failure, right? So again, the manna was done once they got to the promised land. And we can go check out some scripts on that. We can go to Joshua 5 and 12. You know what I'm saying? To see what's really to it. 5 and 12, see what's to it. 5 and 12. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land. Neither had the children of Israel manna any more, but they did eat the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. So if you understand where Joshua is now going into the promised land to go regain or to go gain the land that the Most High said that was theirs. So Joshua was going in and, you know, taking over the land and saying this is for this tribe, this for that tribe. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Most High had him do. So the Most High replaced the manna for the fruit of the land, right? Kind of reminiscent, right? Back to Eden. You know what I mean? So let's go over the Numbers. Let's go back to Numbers 14 and 34. After the number of the days in which ye search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise. Right? So that's what we get, basically, is what I was saying. That's what we get, right? We get what we give, right? And this is fair to the Most High. And over time, this is what happens to us today. This is what happens to us today. We don't listen. We want to keep doing what we want to do, right? Mind you, I'm correlating all this back to Exodus 16 and 35 because that manna is over with. Manna is over with. Spiritual food is gone. Now, you know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of us were eradicated at that time, right? From that time to getting into the promised land, because the ones that got into the promised land were the ones who held on to what the manna was really for, right? The spiritual things, right? Joshua and Caleb was in the lead. You know what I'm saying? They was leading it, right? And even still, you know what I'm saying? You see some people falling off here and there, right? Like the man who, you know what I'm saying, withheld things that the Most High told him not to touch. So he got him and his whole family killed. You know what I mean? So, you know, we just have to understand that the Most High pays us back for everything that we got going on. And, you know, I was just having a conversation last night with one of my passengers, and I was letting them know, like, hey, you know, it's an older sister. I was like, listen, because she was asking me, like, what? Like, because, you know, she was older, and she was like, well, how long does a woman need to wait for a man? Because she was like, do women look for men? I was like, nah, a woman should never be looking for her husband. According to the scriptures, the man is supposed to be looking for the wife, right? Now, women are supposed to prepare themselves, right? Going right back to what we talk about in Exodus 16, that manna was meant to prepare you for what's coming, prepare you for the promised land, how to act, how to move, how to operate in the promised land, right? It was simple instructions of what to do with this manna. Go out and go get it every day. On the sixth day, get 2 portions, lay it up until the next morning. Hey, boom, rest, each manna. You know what I'm saying? Follow the word, follow the instructions of the Most High. Get that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Simple, right? Very, very simple. But we couldn't figure out how to do that. So that's what we do today. Today, we want to rush the process of things because we think that we are ready, right? But then now when you come into following something or following structure and organization, you don't want to do it because it's not what you want to do. This is why I always revert back to you acting like a bitch, because you're self-willed. Don't no man want no independent woman. Don't no woman want a sissified, right, feminine type of man who don't have no structure, who don't stand on nothing. But then, you know, you want the man who's in between and doesn't really, but he does stand on business, but he is traditional, but he isn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, this is what the Most High is telling us. Look, y'all tripping. I told you what to do. How long y'all gonna keep going against this and keep expecting me to be different? He's not going to be different. A man should not be different. Follow the principles of the Most High. Hey, look, get with the woman, you know what I'm saying, who's going to follow you as you follow the word. Simple. Now, the problem is independence, right? Just like what we wanted to do back here when it says 16 and 27, it says, and it came to pass that there went out some of the people, right? So some of you women, right? Some of you brothers, right? On the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. Now, why would they find none? Because you're moving in self-will. You're independent. You think that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, look, man, we're going to go find some. I mean, I got a plan of my own. No, follow the instructions. Follow the instructions, period. Right? Follow the instructions. That's what life is about. It's about following the Most High's instructions. So y'all know what it is. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for tapping in and tuning in with your brother. You know what I'm saying? Your neighborhood Hebrew. You feel me? Again, check out the platforms, check out the links. You know what I'm saying? Donate if you feel. You know, it's all good. Tap on in. Again, just a reminder of the holy days coming up in September. September 4th is trumpets, right? That's one. Sabbath is the 11th, which is the next Wednesday. Atonement feast is the 13th at evening. The fast starts the 12th at evening, ends the 13th at evening, and we're gonna feast it on up. My brother's starts, or his feast is the 14th at evening. Tabernacles begins on the 18th of September and ends on the 25th of September. So if anybody wants to tap on in, come on and holler. It's all good. Reach out because some of these feasts I will be getting on out there with my brother. So if y'all want to come on the ride with that right there, tap in with me so I can make sure it's good with him, and then so on and so forth. So y'all have a blessed one. Remember, repent, confess from the things in which you have offended the Most High. Hey, repent and confess what any faults or offenses you have caused against your brother or your sister, right? Try to make things right. If the person or people are not trying to hear you, it is what it is. Walk your way. You know what I mean? But put that pride to a side and just ride. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are going to lose family, close friends, but the Messiah said he came here to separate. So, you know, and don't give up either. You know what I'm saying? As far as not leaving space for repentance from the other side, right? So, hey, it might not be now, might not be next week, might not be next month, next year. It might be a couple years. But, you know, still leave that room open lines of communication if you can or if you will. Again, it's your neighborhood Hebrew, y'all. Y'all tap on in. Y'all know trumpets is coming up. Hey, I switched my schedule, you know what I'm saying, to rock in one accord and, you know what I'm saying, be one with my brother on some stance in this walk. So, yeah, you know, you have to be willing to come together on some level because theoretically, we all might be wrong as hell on how we keeping these Sabbaths and feasts and all that. So the goal is to just keep it best you can, memorialize it, commemorate it, you know, however you do it. You know what I'm saying? But just do it. Follow the instructions best you can. You got a Bible for a reason. So follow the instructions, y'all. Peace, grace, and mercy. It's your neighborhood Hebrew. And